Jyotiraditya Scindia joining us live now. And Jyotiraditya Scindia has fought what many say, and I was there for his campaign, a good campaign, a strong campaign, but it did not go well for the Congress. Jyotiraditya, your first response is first on the Madhya Pradesh defeat.
Well, Barkha, needless to say that, first of all, my congratulations to the BJP and to Shivraj Singh Chouhan. I think it's important to be humble and modest in victory or defeat, and therefore, in the ground of democracy, the victor must always be congratulated. So my heartiest congratulations out to them. Obviously, it is very disappointing for us, the very fact that we are just around the level we were at in 2008, 65 seats. Obviously, this calls for a major reconstruction and introspection of the party, bottom up and top down both. This is not what we were expecting. Yeah. We need to go back to the drawing board very clearly.
Are you disappointed that you were not sent in earlier? Because I have to ask you this, because in many ways you were given what, 50 days? 50 days in this campaign?
Yes.
Are you disappointed?
Yes, but that's not important. But that's not important, Barkha, because you know the if, what, and if but questions can be a long and lengthy list. But the fact is that you got to deal with the situation that you have at hand. 50 days was what I did have, and I think we put in our best as a team in the Congress party. But surely that best was nowhere close enough, and I think that writing is very clearly on the wall. And as I said, I think from an organizational point of view, from a convincing the electorate point of view, on all accounts, I think we've failed miserably, and there's no hiding away from that. And I think we need to relook at every aspect of our organization and campaign again.
Now, sorry, just 1 second, and I'll just give it to you, Siddharth, and then to Dorab. We've got both Sachin and you here, Jyotiraditya. Both of you, in many ways, are the younger leaders of the Congress. There is a sense that the elections, whatever else they may or may not have said about Narendra Modi, have said something about Rahul Gandhi's failure to capture the imagination of the young. Many of them gravitating towards the Aam Aadmi Party, for example, in Delhi. Would you, and I said this to Sachin as well, would you concede that it is time now for Rahul Gandhi to actually step aside and say, let somebody else, let somebody like Jyotiraditya or Sachin have a chance at the top job? Why is this top job in the Congress reserved when the person who's the contender for the top job is just not doing well at it? Jyotiraditya.
Well, first of all, I don't think there's any reservation of that kind. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is the vice president of the party, a position that he did not choose himself. He was unanimously elected as one. I think he has the pulse of the people across this country, whether it be the youth, the common electorate. And I think, Barkha, you and I have talked about this many a time. The state elections are a mandate on issues that the people of the state are facing. And I think clearly at the state level, the leadership of the incumbent BJP chief ministers has worked in their favor. The leadership of the incumbent Congress chief ministers has not worked in our favor. And I think that is something we need to introspect on. So I don't think that this is necessarily a mandate for 2014 or any person's leadership, because as you remember in 2008, we lost Chhattisgarh, we lost Madhya Pradesh, but in the Lok Sabha elections, we won 206 seats. So one is not necessarily a reflection of the other.
All right, Dorab has a question for you, and then Siddharth. Dorab, go ahead.
Scindia, what happens to the Lok Sabha in these two states, at least Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh? I mean, the Congress certainly is on a relatively back foot. I mean, how are you going to turn this trend around before the Lok Sabha elections?
Well, Dorab, I don't want to make any predictions, but I think we have very clearly our work cut out for us. The very fact that we won only 15% of the seats in Rajasthan and only 30% of the seats in Madhya Pradesh is not a good sign. There's no running away from that, and I am a person who confronts reality however hard it may be. But that being said, also please remember that as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned, this was the very same result we had in 2008, but we won 12 seats out of 29 in the Lok Sabha election. Very clearly choice of candidates, very clearly reconstructing the party at the grassroots, making sure that we have the combination at the grassroots, which the party has always been known for, the Dalit, SC and OBC combination gets strengthened. These are all things that we need to work at. And I think if failure has to be pointed at anyone, I think it's the collective leadership of the Congress party in Madhya Pradesh.
But does that
we all
include
worked
Rahul
very
Gandhi?
hard, whether it was Mr. Digvijay Singh,
Mr. Scindia, does the collective failure include Rahul
Mr.
Gandhi?
Bhuria, Mr. Ajay Singh. I think collectively all of us have not, it has not worked, whether I think from top to bottom, and I think we need to face that. And Barkha, to that point, I think Rahul ji has himself come forward after the UP elections and taken that responsibility. Similarly, we won Karnataka, we won Uttarakhand, we won Himachal, so we have had states in our bag. But in this round, it clearly, some things have not worked.
All right, Siddharth, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Scindia, this is Siddharth Varadarajan in the studio. Two questions.
Hi, Siddharth.
One is, you mentioned, you said 50 days was enough time, but there was also a sense in which the geographical reach of your own personal campaign was limited. I suppose there was an arrangement that you would cover certain areas and other leaders would cover other areas, but most of the reporting that we saw of your rallies suggested that there was quite a bit of excitement that you did manage to generate. Do you feel, with the benefit of hindsight, that you should have ventured into other areas? And the second question is that I know that a state election result is primarily the product of state level factors, but given that the general election is very close and the last 2-3 Vidhan Sabha elections in MP Rajasthan have more or less been replicated in one way or the other in the Lok Sabha. Do you feel that the negative dynamic or the negative impact of the UPA's reputation at the national level is going to be a very, very heavy burden that you're going to have to bear as you go towards 2014?
So you've posed two questions to me. One is with regard to my coverage of Madhya Pradesh. Just by way of information, I covered roughly about 80 assembly constituencies, 80 to 90 across the 230 assemblies. I had 146 meetings. So I covered Malwa, Vindhya, Bundelkhand, Bhopal division, in addition to Gwalior Chambal. That's the answer to question one. With respect to question two, I think it's very clear that we have our work cut out for us. I think the one thing that we need to tackle, and as I said to you, I am one who always faces reality, is that our communication program it needs a lot of work. I think we've done a lot of good work in UPA too, but the communication marketing arm of our thrust needs a lot to be worked on. And I think those are one of the factors that we need to look at. There's no doubt about the fact that we have a tall task ahead of us. But I think we need to face that tall task with unflinching courage. And I think the leadership of Rahul Gandhi provides that unflinching courage to all of us.
I want to ask both you and Sachin, you're both on the screen right now. In one sentence, how would you describe Narendra Modi today? You, Jyotiraditya, told me during the campaign that he was a good omen for you because he wasn't getting so many numbers in Madhya Pradesh. Do you believe he's had any impact in your defeat in MP?
I don't think Narendra Modi has had any impact. I think if there has been any impact in Madhya Pradesh, it has been Shivraj Singh Chouhan. And that's why I said my heartiest congratulations to him. And I told you, Barkha, in private, and I'm going to say this in public on TV today, the air was very still in Madhya Pradesh. There was not a pro-Congress wave, and there was no anti-BJP or pro-BJP wave. And in that environment, as you and I discussed in private, it becomes a very, very difficult call to make. Very clearly, it's gone in favor of the BJP. I must accept that as the campaign committee chief, and I must say that for all of us, our work is cut out for us. But surely Narendra Modi has not had a huge impact in Madhya Pradesh. If at all, it has been the impact of Shivraj Singh Chouhan, and I must reiterate that.
And Shivraj Singh Chouhan is about to start speaking. So Sachin, let me just ask you quickly. I ask you the same question I asked Jyotiraditya. Why is the top job in the Congress not open for either of you?
But the Congress president is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, and she has been for 13 years. And she was elected unanimously by the Congress party. And don't forget, under Mrs. Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, this party remains united and strong. And that's one of the reasons why we are all able to have faith and repose our trust in the leadership. The question about state assembly elections, result by results, are not a reflection on the choice that you have as the Congress president and who the person might be. The fact, and Jyotiraditya rightly pointed out, is the fact that every state has a unique dynamic, and how you win and lose elections depends on your party and leadership of the state. Now, while Mr. Modi campaigned in Madhya Pradesh, he campaigned in Rajasthan, he also campaigned in Chhattisgarh.
Yeah.
How come he had zero impact in Chhattisgarh? And I can tell you in Rajasthan, he had plenty of meetings. In fact, people were unsure of BJP's victory. That's why they leaned on him to campaign extensively in Rajasthan. To my mind, he did not have that much of an impact at all. It is the state BJP leadership which actually, I think, had a better campaign strategy. And Vasundhara Raje has won the election fair and square. And we must concede, accept defeat and concede victory to them.
Okay, Jyotiraditya, very quickly, because Shivraj Singh Chouhan is about to speak. Are you, as a Congress person today, will you at least concede that the Congress needs to sit down and review its policy of communication? Never before has a party's top leadership been so adamant about its silence.
I mean, let me say this, Barkha, I said that before you did. I think we need to reevaluate many things. And I think if we need to face that, and I think we need to have a strategy to be able to tackle that. There's no point giving you innuendos as answers. I think very clearly the writing is on the wall. We need to face the reality and we need to act according to it. 6 months is still a very long time for a Lok Sabha election. I think we can regroup and put together a very, very strong front together. But I think the realization of what has transpired today must sink in very deep, and then we must have a strategy to combat it.